right, it's generic rock. The sound of generic rock can only mean one thing. It's time for another podcast, everybody. If you're listening to this as a podcast, you can listen to me record this live on Periscope at periscope.tv/itsGaryLee. And for those lucky people listening live, like you, Caitlin, like you, big-haired Daisy, like you, I-80 Call, you can also get this show in the form of a podcast wherever podcasts can be found, like Apple Podcast and Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Spotify. I made it to Spotify. Can you believe it? We're there. Give us a 5-star review, a comment, all that stuff. So a lot to talk about. I went to something called Kidaoke a couple of days ago, and Kidaoke is exactly what you think it is, and I'll explain. I will explain in just a second. Also, I'm a big fan of like, people get excited for lots of different reasons. People get excited around the holidays when Christmas comes. People get excited for you know, random shit. I get excited when a new fast food item is debuted. Every time Wendy's brings something new to the table. Every time Taco Bell finds yet another way to use the same 4 fucking ingredients that they've always used. It excites me. But sometimes they fail. Sometimes they're not as good as they think. Sometimes they're not as good as you would think. And I have a list here of the 10 worst, the 10 biggest failures in fast food history. But before that, I need to talk to you about the traveling dent fixers. So some of you know what I'm talking about when I say traveling dent fixers. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you have a better life than me. Just know, if you don't know what it means when I say traveling dent fixers, you have a life that I've only dreamt about. Here's what a traveling dent fixer is. So, basically, they're just out of work auto body people that just drive around their city all day, just driving around until they spot a guy who is in a car with a dent, and then they make it their goal to bother the fuck out of that guy. Now, I understand times can be tough sometimes, right? You know, you had your job fixing dents, getting a paycheck, putting dinner on the table, and then something happens. Maybe you quit your job, maybe you got fired. But what happens, the next step is to go and find another job. The next step is to go to one of the many other auto body places in your city and see if they will give you a paycheck. The wrong move is to get into your car. First of all, if your car has dents and you're asking to fix my car's dents, you're expecting a no. If you drive up to me and your car is filled with dents and you're asking to fix my dents, the answer is no. Before you ask the question, it's no. Forever no. 1,000 times no. But you don't get in your car and just drive around chasing the work. Put in an application, put in a resume. I have a car that's got a couple of dents in it. So I've had to deal with these traveling dent fixers a few times. And they all have the same go-to moves, by the way. So the first time I encountered, okay, so I drive, I'm not bragging. Again, I didn't come up with a podcast to brag, okay? But I drive a Kia, I can afford it. Listen, I bought this Kia, brand new, off the lot. 15 minutes later, first dent. I don't know, don't ask me why I thought this was a good idea. I took my brand new car from the dealership parking lot to a public park where it was immediately hit with a softball. I've had a softball-sized dent in the side of my car since day fucking one, since hour one. I also got T-boned by an old man who apparently has never seen a stop sign in his life. Right in the driver's side door, it's a fucking big-ass dent. I never got it fixed, and here's why. It's a Kia. It's a Kia. Why would you getting a dent on a Kia fixed? That does not come up. But by the way, underrated, driving a shitty car. If you own a shitty car, you have no idea how many concerns and worries that you don't have that other people have. Some people with expensive cars or nice cars, they will drive around a parking lot for hours. They will just burn through an entire tank of gas trying to find the perfect spot away from everybody else, away from shopping carts, away from other cars, so that nothing happens to their car. If you drive a Kia, you will park underneath cars. You don't give a shit. That's the best part about driving a shitty car. You don't fucking care. So I've been driving around this car with dents since I bought it. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not a big car guy anyway. I don't care what the car looks like as long as it gets me to where I need to go. And 70, maybe 80% of the time, this car does that. So I've had to deal with these traveling dent fixers before. The first time I encountered one, I was driving down the street, and again, maybe this is illegal. I don't know if you, it's definitely not recommended, but I had an ice cream cone. I was driving around town with an ice cream cone. I wasn't just driving, that's not what I do. I don't just get an ice cream cone and then go for a drive. I drove to get an ice cream cone, and I was driving back, but you have to eat so I'm eating the ice cream cone, steering with the one hand, my kid's in the back seat, she's also got an ice cream cone, and this guy drives up behind me and he does the international signal for roll your window down, even though everybody in 2019 has powered windows, except for me, by the way. I have a Kia, which again, it came equipped with satellite radio. That's radio from space, but I still have to crank my windows down like it's 1975. Don't buy a Kia, but he gives me the sign to roll, the Grey Poupon sign to roll down my window. I roll it down. We're driving. I'm trying to navigate the road and not kill me and my child. I'm trying to make sure this ice cream cone doesn't melt all over me. And he says, hey, you want to get those dents fixed? Here's a fun little tip for all of you traveling dent fixers out there. If I wanted to get my dents fixed, they'd be fixed. It's not that big a deal. Not that hard. It's not that hard to accomplish the goal of fixing your fucking car. If you see someone driving around with dents in their car, they're driving around with dents in the car for two reasons. They don't care that their car is dented, or they just dented their car. It's not that the idea of getting the dents taken out has not occurred to them. You're not showing them the light. They are aware that the dents are there, and they're probably fucking fine with it. So he's trying to talk to me as we're driving down the road, doing about 50. He's like, hey, you want to get those dents taken out? Now, this is when I should have rolled up my window, flipped him off, or just said no and sped off. But I tried to be funny. So I said, what dents? Listen, you know what? I have fun. Okay, I try to have fun. So he flags me down. I pull it now. I'm trying to think of a way to like lose him, because I know this motherfucker, they're tenacious people. They're like pit bulls. They're not gonna stop. He's gonna follow me to my house. So I park like a block away from my house, and he's like, hey, I can get those dents fixed. I used to do auto body. By the way, I don't listen, if I go to you and you work for an auto body place, I have faith in you. And I know that maybe you lost your job because of, whatever reason, right? But I don't really have a lot of faith in a guy who has to drive around the town looking for people with dents in their car. I would assume that if you were really good at what you did, you would probably have a job. You'd probably have a name tag. You don't have a name tag. You just followed me from the McDonald's. I have a cone. It's melting. I don't like confrontation, and I can be sold on a lot of things. So he had a good pitch. He said, hey, you see that small dent? He's talking about the softball dent. And I say, yeah. And he says, how about this? You let me fix that dent of yours for free, and then you pay me $75 to fix the one on the door. This is a story about how I'm an idiot. So I say, okay, fine. And if you don't fix that small dent, we're done. And he's like, yeah. So he takes out this stupid little tool. It looks like a suction cup thing. And he puts it on the side. He puts it right over where the dent is. And he fucking does the thing. And the dent, you can tell that something had happened to it. But it looked 1,000 times better than before he did that. So now I'm blown away. Now I'm thinking, why doesn't this motherfucker have a job? This guy's he's a wizard. He's a goddamn car wizard. So I say, 75 bucks, sure, let's do it. So I hand this guy $75, and he's talking to me. By the way, don't talk to me. Just do your job. I don't want the doctor talking to me. I don't want the mechanics talking to me. I'm not your friend. We're not buds. Just do the job. So he's talking to me the whole time, and he takes out a bigger tool for a bigger dent. I don't know how cars work or auto body and all this stuff. So he's doing the thing, and he's working. About 20 minutes later, he says, check it out, man. What do you think? And he's acting proud. He's acting like he's accomplished something. I've already given him $75, by the way. And I'm looking at the dent that is still very much there. It might look slightly better, but the dent is still very much in that door. And if I had taken my car to an auto body shop, paid them a lot of money, and then returned to my car with a dent in it, I would probably not pay them. But this is a weirdo with a bunch of heavy tools in his car, and I've already given him my money. So I shook his hand because I'm a pussy, because I'm the world's biggest bitch. I shook his hand, said thank you. He gave me a card. You drive around all day. What is this card going to tell me? He gave me his card, which I immediately threw away, and I just ate the $75. I ate it. I ate my ice cream cone, and I ate my $75. By the way, I had a crotch filled with melted soft serve, thanks to that guy too, by the way. That was the first time I dealt with him. The other time I dealt with him, this was a different person, and this is a move that I hate. The guy on the road annoyed me. This should be illegal. I pull into a parking lot, I pull into a parking spot, and this guy pulls right behind me as I'm entering. I don't know where I was going. I think I was going to like Target or so. I go in. When I come back, he's still right behind me. He has now pinned me in. I cannot leave the parking space. And then he asked me the same series of questions. They all fucking ask me. They're very stupid questions, but they feel they have to. They say this. He says to me, "Is that your car?" He's watching me use a set of keys to unlock a door, then get into a car, the very same car he saw me get out of. He asked me with a straight fucking face, "Is that your car?" I don't know anyone in their right mind who would steal a dented 5-year-old Kia. I just don't. So surely he must be joking. But I answered him honestly. I said, "This one? Yeah, that's my car." And he said, "You ever think about getting those dents taken out?" Yeah, every day, all day long, it's all I can think about. I go to sleep thinking about it, I wake up thinking about it. Yes, finally, are you? Because what I've been doing, sir, this is serendipitous is what this is. What I do is all day long, I drive around looking for people to fix my car. That's what I've been doing. I quit my job. I left my wife. My life has been dedicated to driving around town all day looking for someone with one of those stupid suction cup things to remove these fucking dents. And hallelujah, praise Jesus, I found you. Of course, that's not what I said. I said, "No, I'm good." And then they said the third infuriating question, "Are you sure?" "Yeah, I'm sure." And then he gets into his car and I get into my car and he's still parked right behind me as if to give me some time to rethink. So the moral of the story is, if you see me or anyone else driving a car that's got dents in it, they're on it, okay? They've got a grasp, they're taking care of it, or they're not taking care of it and they're fine with it. The point is, if you see them, don't bother them. It's already no. The answer is already no. It's fucking August, what is it? August 13th, maybe? 14th? I don't know. I don't have a calendar, but it's August. And there's no special holidays in August. That's what I like about August. We're right in the middle. We're not, ER nurse informs me it's the 14th. Thank you. I don't know how I could continue this recording without knowing the exact date. It's August 14th, Wednesday. No holidays, but we don't have holidays, but we do have some month-long observances. Some month-long, these are just, they're not technical holidays, they're just things we need to think about, and just, we need things, and now ER nurse is not sure that it's the 14th. Well, thanks for chiming in. See, this is what happens when I record these things. You guys can come here to periscope.tv/itscarylee, and you could also pump me with false information and guesses and estimates if you'd like. Or you can do the preferred route, which is just listening via the podcast, where we cannot have any sort of interaction whatsoever, thus not derailing everything. It's August something 2019. Now we're getting people saying it's the 15th. Okay, this is the time. This is the part of the podcast where I stop reading comments, because this is what happens. You go down a rabbit hole of stupidity and irritation when you start reading the comments. You have to pick and choose your spots when you read the comments. Oh, back to the 14th. Cool. Thanks for chiming in, guys. Hey, how about no more dates? Let's just say this. It's August 2019. There's a couple of monthly observances we should be aware of. Number one is it's National Admit You're Happy Month. For the whole month, we now need to admit that we are happy, which is going to be pretty fucking hard to do for most people, because I feel like most people aren't fucking happy. There are moments of happiness. There are good days. But I think overall, because most of us are alive, we're in a pretty foul mood most of the time. Now, you will find these people, these are the sending positive vibes to people. Those people, they claim to be happy. They claim to believe that it's not about what happens, it's about how you react to it. That's what these people will tell you. I'm here to tell you those people are liars. I'm here to tell you that those people are far more unhappy than any of you. That's what I'm telling you. They are living this lie, and they want you to lie to yourself. It's kind of like the people that work out. The people that work out want you to believe that you'll feel better physically, mentally, spiritually, and that you'll be in a much better mood, and blah, blah, blah. And it's because they want you to be as fucking miserable as they are. So if you ever find anyone who ever thinks about sending you positive vibes, make sure if that person's okay, because that's their way of asking for help. They should be. If anyone sends you positive vibes, put them on the suicide watch, because they're sad as shit. Sad as shit. It's also Family Fun Month. So if you have a family, have fun with your family. I did, and this brings us to the Kidaoke. About a week ago, my daughter was invited to a birthday party. There's two kinds of parties my daughter gets invited to. There's the party where my favorite kind of party, which is I drive to the house, and then I physically pick her up and throw her through a screen door, and then I come back in 2 hours and she's filled with cake. That's the kind of party I like. I used to go in and like meet the parents for a minute. Now I don't even stop the car. I just open the door, and we're going about 5. We're going about 5 miles per hour, and I just let her. She tucks and rolls all the way into the party. I don't even stop anymore. That's my favorite kind of party. The party where I don't have to attend, because you know what? My daughter has friends. I don't. I talk into my phone on the internet all day. I don't have anything. I don't have anybody to see, and I have no place to go, and I fucking like it that way. There's no need for me to get sucked in to my daughter's fucking friendships. I don't need it. I don't like my daughter's friends. I don't like my daughter's friends' parents. But some parties, these are the parties I hate, some parties require you to stay with the children. And they don't tell you that on the invite. It's like a fucking My Little Pony invite, and they say, hey, come celebrate Madison's or Addison's or fucking whatever. Come celebrate this annoying kid's birthday. They don't say, and you have to fucking sit there with all these moms. By the way, I'm the only father that shows up to these things. It's me and a bunch of fucking moms. And I want to find the father who also, there should be a space for dudes who don't want to fucking be there. Because I find typically the moms, they want to be there. They're having a good time. I don't like it. So we go to this party. It was a karaoke party. So at least they told me what I was in for. It's a 5-hour karaoke party. And if you don't know, karaoke is karaoke sung by children. 5 hours. 5 hours of this. Now, normally I don't like the cake birthday, happy birthday time, right? Usually when it comes time to cut the cake and sing happy birthday, I find my way out and I pretend I'm gonna go smoke or something. I don't do that. And I don't care about opening presents. I don't want to see your child open a gift, so I kind of duck out for that. But I was praying, I was begging for the happy birthday cake cutting time, because if we were opening presents and cutting cake, that means we weren't listening to a bunch of 11-year-olds sing the best of Taylor Swift. By the way, when an 11-year-old sings the best of anything, it's the fucking worst thing you've ever heard, ever. So as soon as I get there, they're already on. They're already singing. And there was a debate in the house, and there was a debate on the car ride over there. I was asking my daughter if she wanted to sing, if she was planning on it, and she said she was thinking about singing a Queen song. I informed her that those songs are fairly difficult. She informed me that she knew all the lyrics, because she thought that's why I thought it would be difficult for her. There's come times in your child's life where you have to be honest with them. I had to let her know, you can't sing. You definitely can't sing Queen. And other people are going to have to hear it. And if you want to be cool with that, if you want to be cool with going back to school knowing that all your friends heard you sing Queen, to the best of your ability, I will support you till the day I die. And she said, yeah, it'll be fun. Oh, sure it will. So we get there and they're singing a song I've never heard. This little girl is singing a song that I've never heard in my life, and I hope I never hear it again. It sounds a little Jason Mrazzy to me. I can't be sure if it was in fact Jason Mraz, but it sounds a little Jason Mrazzy. She's singing, and there's not even a moment before the next kid comes up. As soon as that song's over, it's like they each have their own individual microphones. I don't even know how fat they put. So for a solid hour, I'm hearing kids sing songs, and it's just too much. But thankfully, this party did feature a couple of dads. And these dads, they got there before I did, because I'm early to everything, except for this. This is the one situation where I come last fucking minute. I don't need to be there early for this shit. These two fathers, though, these two sad dads, they were sitting there listening to a lot more Kidaoke than I was. And they, remember earlier when I said suicide watch? This was actually, they looked like not only have they been listening to this all day, but they've been listening to this since the day they gave birth to those kids. They couldn't take it anymore. But here's the thing about listening to really bad karaoke. When someone is just kind of bad at karaoke, it's the sweetest sound your ears have ever heard. One little girl, she said, I could tell what the song was. I can tell what the words were. I would never, ever in my life ever choose to hear that. But based on what I had heard, it was not bad. And then something happened, guys, that I kind of feared in the back of my head. I thought that this might happen, but I didn't think, at least I didn't want to believe that my daughter is friends with people who have like just the world's worst people as parents. But one of the moms grabbed the microphone. By the way, when this was the mom who lived here, it was her daughter's birthday. When every other child was going up to sing, she couldn't give a fuck. She just pressed the button on the iPad and handed them the microphone and whatever. She introduced her daughter, Addison. She introduced what song Addison was about to sing. And then when she left, she grabbed the microphone and she said, Addison, everybody, let's give her a hand. Remember when Jeb Bush... Remember when Jeb Bush asked everyone to please clap? It was that exact moment. None of these children, none of these dads, especially not me, wanted to fucking clap for Addison. And this is what you heard when she said, hey, give her a hand. We heard one single person somewhere. I never saw this person. This might have been piped in. She might have actually recorded this ahead of time to play it so Addison wouldn't cry. This is what I heard. That was funny. But then what she said is, all right, guys, now it's time for the adults to sing. Now, when I heard that, I didn't think she was talking about me. I mean, I'm an adult, legally. But when she said, now it's time for the adults to sing, I didn't think she assumed I was going to be one of those people that was gonna sing, I also didn't think it was basically mandatory. When she came up to the Sad Dad table and she asked us what song, she didn't ask us, are you going to sing? She asked, what song are you going to sing? Sad Dad number 1 said, I'm not singing. Sad Dad number 2, who was smarter than the rest of us, he said, my throat hurts, I can't sing. I really should have gone with that. And when she looked at me and said, what song do you want to sing? I said, Love Shack. Why? Why did I say, I panicked, okay? Sad Dad number 2 had a lie. His throat didn't hurt, okay? Sad Dad number 1 straight up told that bitch I'm not singing. I panicked. The only song that came to my brain was fucking Love Shack. Baby, Love Shack. So I was the fourth on the, I was the fourth, as far as all of the parents go, I was fourth on the sign-up sheet. So I said, okay, I guess we're doing this. So I chased after my child. She was playing with her friends. It was also a pool party. It was like a pool party / karaoke. So when the kids were singing, it was like Kids Bop. But when the adults were there, it's like, now we're gonna break it down. Now we're gonna have some fun. So I went outside. I fucking dragged my daughter out of that pool. I got dirty looks when we got the carpet wet also. Hey, fuck you. But I said, hey, we're going to sing a song. And she said, why? And I said, because I'm not going to sing alone. So here's what I want you to do. You're going to sing the girl parts. And I'm going to sing the Fred Schneider parts. Because I think that would be funny if I did it like the Fred Schneider thing. So, to the best of our abilities, me and my daughter, we tried our best. And I think, you know what? I can't sing. You can hear how horrible this voice sounds when I'm just speaking. Imagine this singing. It's terrible. But I think, given the circumstances, we knocked it out of the park. But I thought I would take it up a notch. I need it now to make this party fun for me. Because I had another 3 hours of this shit. I had to be at this party for another 3 fucking hours. Thankfully, they never asked me to sing again. Maybe I should take that the wrong way. I don't know. But they never asked me to do that again. But I said, here's what I'm going to do. For the rest of this party, for the remainder of this party, I am not going to sing like Fred Schneider, but I will be speaking like Fred Schneider this entire fucking time. I'm going to embarrass my daughter. I'm going to make sure that these fucking people never invite me or my kid to Kidaoke ever again. So every time I made a rule for myself for this fun little game. I was not going to initiate conversation with anyone, but if anyone tried to talk to me, I was definitely going to answer them as if I were Fred Schneider. Keep in mind, none of these children knew who Fred Schneider was. But I did it. I tried, happy birthday to you. I would do that. Thank you for having us. I said that. Somebody asked me if I wanted cake. I said, I'm trying to drop some pounds. The whole time. The whole fucking time. And I left. And hopefully we never get invited to that fucking house again. Because listen, if we get invited to the house again, I'm going to have to keep it up. I'm going to have no choice but to keep it up. If they invite us over for dinner, can someone please pass the rolls? I'm going to have to keep it up the whole fucking time. Because they probably think I have some sort of mental illness, which is fine. But if I come back and I talk normal, they're going to think I'm just an asshole. So I gotta keep up the Fred Schneider. So it is National Family Fun Month. So if you have a family, have fun with them all month long. I saw Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. They really want you to think this is a fucking cinematic event. Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, and the movie is exactly what you think it is. If you think it's just a somehow an even dumber version of the other Fast and the Furious movies. By the way, this is a Fast and the Furious movie with even less driving than the other ones. There's even less car racing than the other Fast and the Furious. How? Anyway, there's that. right? It's stupid. But the audience at the Fast and the Furious movie, this was the greatest audience I've... Okay, so if you've been paying attention to me, I've been complaining about bad theater experiences and bad movie theater audiences. But when you go to certain movies, you have to... just like your expectations, like you'll have expectations for the movie itself. You also have to have expectations for what kind of crowd you might be getting. So like when you go to a kids movie, you have to anticipate talking, you have to anticipate maybe babies, you have to anticipate kids wandering the aisles. It's just what happens at a kids film. You have that mindset going in, and you won't be too annoyed with the crowd. When you go to a Fast and the Furious movie, you have to anticipate the dumbest motherfuckers you've ever met. If you go see the Fast and the Furious, especially opening weekend, you're an asshole or an idiot. I'm sorry, listen, and I mean no disrespect by it. If you're someone who loves that movie franchise, hey, good. I'm glad you like it. You're also an idiot, possibly an asshole, probably a combination of both. You're probably an idiotic asshole. I'm sorry, that's just the target audience of the Fast and Furious, even if they're presenting Hobbs and Shaw. So I go there, I get in the theater, it immediately smells like not even Axe body spray. Whatever the generic dollar store version of Axe body spray is, that's what it smelled like, and it smelled like a bunch. Also, the Fast and the Furious fans, they like to eat the nachos and stuff in the theater. I have a rule. If you go see the movies with me, you better be happy with a popped corn, because that's the only fucking smelly thing I'm letting you bring into the theater next to me. Popped corn, that's it. You eat that hot dog in the lobby, you fucking animal. You don't get the nachos. Are you fucking insane? You're not getting the nachos. Get the popped corn. Anyway, it smelled bad in the theater right off the bat. Everyone in the theater looked exactly like I thought they looked when I was still in my car in the parking lot. They were exactly Fast and Furious fans. So I'm sitting down, and then I see at the corner of my eye, this little girl walk down the aisle. She had no parents around. She was probably 8 years old, maybe. I didn't get a good look at her at first. And I'm thinking this is weird. This is a weird movie for this child to come. Now, 8, that's pretty young to go see a movie by yourself, but I guess it happens. But I don't know if an 8-year-old would go watch would want to see a Fast and the Furious movie, especially by herself. And the dad in me, whenever I see this, like when you have kids of your own, you have like this weird spidey sense of like there could be a situation here, so you keep an eye on it. So when I noticed that there was a little girl in this theater by herself, I'm just in my head, I'm keeping an eye on it. Nothing bad's happening. I mean, it's already bad because there's a little girl in the middle of a pack, just a goddamn pack of Fast and the Furious fans. But other than that, we're in a room. What's the worst that could happen? And I'm guessing her parents are probably getting themselves something to eat at the concession, or maybe they're taking a shit. I don't know. Maybe they went to a separate movie and they're going to meet afterwards. I just know that as a father, I'm keeping a watchful eye on this little girl just in case some shit goes down. The trailer's in, the movie starts, still no parents. So now I'm thinking, this is weird. Did she fucking Uber here? How did this 8-year-old, where's her money coming from? How did this 8-year, and then I'm thinking maybe she's just a small 14-year-old or 15-year-old. Maybe I didn't get a good look at her, corner of my eye. Maybe she's just a really short teenager. But then again, I'm thinking, what 15-year-old girl would go see Fast and the Furious by herself? So I still got the watchful eye, but again, we're gonna be in this room for 2 hours. She's fine for now. So the movie, it's the movie. It's a goddamn cartoon. I watch these movies because they're so stupid and they're so fun. But as the movie ends, now I go back into dad mode, and I look at the little girl. She gets out of her seat. Apparently, she did just go there to watch a Fast and Furious movie. I guess Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a crowd pleaser of all ages. Whatever. So she's walking, and I'm way in the back. She's up front. As she's coming down, and by the way, I'm staying to see if there's a stinger scene at the end, because I'm a fucking loser. So she's walking up the aisle, and I'm looking at her, and I notice something a little bit weird about this little girl. She's a little misshapen. she gets closer to me. And by the way, she's backlit, right? Because the screen's there. So I'm seeing a silhouette of this little girl. And now as she's becoming clear to me, this little girl is not a little girl. And my feeling at first was concern as a parent that I'm looking at an 8-year-old girl by herself. And that went from concerned to holy shit, this is the greatest. That was not a little girl at all. That was a goddamn midget. She was a and I'm not talking about a short girl. I'm not talking about some girl who's 4'9". She was a midget. Now, listen, I've seen midgets on television and the movies. Okay, I've gone to the stupid midget pro wrestling, which is just a goddamn slap in the face to pro wrestling. And I've had an interaction with an actual midget before. Long ago, but it's not often you get to see a midget in the wild. It's a special day. Last month we had a couple of earthquakes here. That doesn't happen all the time. That's kind of cool. You see a midget, it's rare. Fucking rare. And listen, I try not to like stare at people. Like if you see somebody with like a nub, you know, like you fucking they're missing an arm or something, and I mean, you know, curious minds, you know, like I want to know how the nub got there. But if I'm just sitting, I'm trying to enjoy my Arby's and not look at the nub, right? It's rude. I couldn't take my eyes off this midget. I couldn't do it. I was planning on getting up and leaving the theater. Instead, I hung out. I wasn't going to leave the theater until the midget did. I wanted to look at the midget some more. And she saw me at one point. She saw me just staring at her. And I was caught staring at the midget. I didn't care. I was gonna have to be okay with her knowing I was hopefully she thought I was just some creepy pervert staring at some girl. And hopefully she didn't think, oh, look at this asshole staring me down because I'm a goddamn midget. But I was staring at her because she's a goddamn midget. It's rare to see him out in the wild. I'm glad that I wanted to thank her. I wanted to go up to her and say thank you for picking my screening today. But I didn't, because that would put it over the top. That would be ultra weird. I was just very weird. All right, fast food failures. Every time Wendy's rolls out a new burger, every time McDonald's has something fun, I'm first one in line. I love it. Sometimes they're great. Like the goddamn chili cheese burrito from Taco Bell. Why can't they bring that shit back? That was great. But sometimes they're not so great. So I have here a list of the top 10 fast food failures of all the times. Number 10 is from Jack in the Box. ER Nurse is saying it's the Burger King plant-based burger, which is they're calling the Beyond Burger or the I can't believe it's not Whopper or what the fuck ever. I was talking to someone on Facebook, which by the way I'm gonna stop doing. I'm no longer going to engage in conversation on Facebook. But somebody went to Burger King to get that fake Whopper thing, right? And they said that they had talked to the person that works at the Burger King, and they told her that the last 20 people through the drive-thru had all ordered that burger. Liar! What are the fucking odds that 20 people in a row have the exact same order? She's a liar. That person's a liar. They're trying to sell some not burgers. Fuck that. Anyway, number 10 comes from Jack in the Box. Jack in the Box. Most people don't have Jack in the Box, or not everyone has Jack in the Box anyway. By the way, I'm sitting here in this car recording this podcast, and this guy is walking backwards now. He walked past me, and he was staring at me. And again, I'm being suspicious. I'm screaming at my steering wheel. That's what he can see. But he's still walking backwards. I don't know who's at fault here, me or him. Anyway, Jack in the Box. A few years ago, they debuted the bacon shake. Now that might sound good to some of you, because some of you people are crazy bacon people. I'm not going to disparage the good name of bacon. You add bacon to most anything, makes it taste better. I love bacon, but some of you fucking people, it's like I'm convinced some of you would rather have a handful of loose bacon than a fucking steak. It's just bacon You throw it on a salad, makes the salad edible. Put it in a burger, kicks it up a notch. But it's just bacon. But there are some places bacon doesn't belong, and in a fucking milkshake, that's one of them. So they put the bacon in the milkshake, and it's not a failure, monetarily speaking, because people bought the shit out of this thing. People love the bacon shake. The problem is, each bacon shake, if you get a small bacon shake, that's over 1,000 calories. Now, that's not so bad. I mean, that'll kill you if you have a couple in the same day. But what I'm pissed off about is the fact that there was no actual bacon in it. How the fuck are you going to have a milkshake that's over 1,000 calories and not have bacon? What the fuck would happen if you put the bacon in there? It would explode. It would be like a high school science project. It would be like a fucking volcano. Number 9. John Noble, watching live, he mentioned it. It's the McHula burger. Way back when, 1960s, McDonald's decided that they were gonna break away from the burgers, and they were gonna offer some non-burger items. So they came out with 2 items. One was the Filet-O-Fish, which, by the way, if you go to a fast food place for fish, why don't you just eat like a bottle of pills? That'll kill you almost as fast as going to McDonald's to get a fish sandwich. Ew. But they debuted the Filet-O-Fish along with the Hula Burger, and as you can assume, the Hula Burger, or the McHula Burger, it features the pineapple, it features the cheese, and that's it. That was the problem here. Their idea of a Hawaiian burger was a big thick slice of pineapple and a slice of cheese. That's what they did. I give them credit for offering I guess a vegan meal before, way back when, but that's a dare. That's more of a dare burger. They should have called it the dare burger. It's a slice of pineapple and cheese. Number 8. This is just bad. I hate to talk about Wendy's because I have love for Wendy's. I love their Twitter accounts. Gotta plug this in. Here we go. I love their Twitter accounts. I love everything about them. But they have some bad ideas as well. And in the 90s, they came up with something called Wendy's Super Bar, because apparently Wendy's thought that the only reason vegetarians don't go to fast food places is because they don't have a salad bar. So Wendy's had, and they thought they'd make it cool by calling it the Super Bar. And you know what was super about it? You could get pudding. I remember walking by the Super Bar with a tray full of meat, wondering who in their fucking right mind is coming here for a salad. And then I realized, oh, you can get pudding. They found a way to make a salad bar unhealthy. ER nurse is talking about the flies. Apparently, she goes to Wendy's for the flies. I don't know if that was a typo, if you've had a bad experience at a Wendy's. Either way, the Wendy's flies are not number 7 on the list. But you know what number 7 is? The BK table service. Hey, you know what I like about fast food? It's fucking fast. I like being able to go in, quickly get your bullshit, and leave. That's why I don't complain too much about the quality of some of these things, because it was my entire family's meal was made in 8 minutes. Okay, I'm expecting it to not be the greatest. But what would happen if I went to a Burger King and had to wait in line for a table and then had to give my order to a waiter who would then come back and bother me the whole fucking time, and then I still, at the end of the day, I get Burger King? I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be annoyed and pissed off. Don't bring, you're fast food for a reason. Let's just accept that if we go there because we've settled, or we just don't have time. That's the only 2 reasons we're at the Burger King. Don't try to trick me into thinking I'm at a quality restaurant. It's Burger King. Just put a bunch of sloppy shit in a bag, and then I will eat it as fast as I can, hopefully with not a lot of witnesses, and I can go about my day. Number 6, the KFC Oprah episode. So I was not aware of this. Some of you may not be aware of this, but back in the day, KFC had a promotion with the Oprah Winfrey Show where Oprah announced during one of her episodes that KFC was going to go ahead and give, because apparently Oprah Winfrey, she was known for her weight fluctuation. She was big fat, and she was not so fat, and then big and fat again, and then very thin, and then not so fat. So she had throughout the years, she's had a couple of deals with the Weight Watchers and stuff like that. So she had a deal apparently with KFC because they were unveiling their new grilled chicken. I don't know why the chicken place didn't just start with grilled chicken also, but apparently they were very excited. So they had a tie-in with the Oprah Winfrey Show where Oprah said, if you want to lose the weight like I have, what you got to do is you got to go to KFC and get their new boneless grilled chicken combo. And if you do it now and mention the Oprah Winfrey Show, it's free. That sounds like a good idea. Except Oprah Winfrey had the single most popular daytime television show in television history, and everybody watched it. And everybody that watched it went to KFC to get their free chicken. And KFC, the chicken place, Kentucky Fried Chicken, ran out of chicken nationwide in 3 hours. The power of Oprah is strong. Number 5, speaking of free shit, Dunkin' Donuts was celebrating an anniversary, and they decided that they were going to have a promotion where they were going to give away some free coffee. I like free things. I like coffee. This sounds like a thing. But Dunkin' Donuts was only giving away the free coffee in 5 different states. I think it was the 5 states they started in when they first came out or whatever. The problem with that is they didn't tell anyone about that. They made a point to let the people know in their commercials that they were going to give away free coffee, but they didn't let people know that it was only in 5 states. So there was like a fucking donut riot in 45 states. Someone mentioned the 7-Eleven free Slurpee Day. But when that happens, though, they are prepared. They have a guy working at the 7-Eleven that's standing by the door to hand you a Slurpee. They have another guy whose job it is all day long is to make sure that the Slurpee machines are working and properly stocked. Dunkin' Donuts was only giving coffee away to 5 different states. And they didn't say. It was like a guessing game. By the way, I'm surprised how good 7-Eleven handles that shit. Because you know what? I'm not the world's biggest Slurpee fan, but I will make sure I get my free Slurpee on Slurpee Day. Yes, I will. And when I go in there, there's never a line. It's you know what? Do we still say props? Props to you, 7-Eleven. Still wondering why your people have missing thumbs. It's another story for another day. Number 4, back to Burger King. It's the Halloween Whopper. This happened last year. They've done it a few times. The first time they called it the Franken Whopper. The second time it was the Halloween Whopper. Last year they called it the Nightmare Whopper. Ooh! The nightmare is it's a green bun. Spooky. It's a fucking green bun on your Whopper for Halloween. The problem is the bun does not look green. I don't know if you've ever had one. I had one because you know what? I'm a sucker for shit like this. I want to eat a goddamn green burger. I do. And I went there, and it's not green. It's not green at all. It's just a burger. It's just a brown. It's a slightly off-colored. Well, the reason they call it the Nightmare Burger is because they said, and again, there's no way to prove this, but they said that people who eat the Nightmare Whopper experience very intense nightmares the night of. That's bullshit. I know that that's bullshit, but I don't care. I want to eat me a fucking Nightmare Whopper, and I want to have cheeseburger dreams. It didn't happen. And by the way, this is not on the list, but a few months ago, they had a Stranger Things tie-in for the 3rd season of Stranger Things, where you can get an upside down Whopper. That was the whole thing. Their special item was an upside down Whopper. It was a regular Whopper. It's all the same. The Whopper there was nothing different about the Whopper except for it was served to you fucking upside down. Of all the laziest tie-in promotions, that's got to be the top of the list. Number 3, the McDonald's spaghetti. I don't really have to talk about how disgusting the McDonald's spaghetti probably was. I didn't get to experience the McDonald's spaghetti. I don't know why anyone assumed people would go and order. Like listen, when they branch out and they throw you out like a wrap, you can go to McDonald's and get a wrap. Okay, fine. That's a little different. Cool. Maybe a breakfast burrito at McDonald's? That's crazy. But they have it, right? That worked. But why anyone in their right mind would go to McDonald's for spaghetti? That's gross. John Noble says, I would think McDonald's did shit spaghetti, but I love their pizza. That's great that you mentioned that, John, because number 2 on the list is the McPizza. John Noble, full disclosure for those of you listening, John Noble is a Canadian man. And I don't know much about Canada. Maybe they don't have a lot of excitement over there. Because John Noble just said, and I quote, he liked the pizza. Tanya, who's also watching this live, says she liked the pizza. Hey, Tanya. Hey, John. Kill yourselves. End it. That pizza was fucking gross. I never experienced the mixed spaghetti. Ugh. I did one time in my life taste the McPizza. And that was the only, listen, my body is a temple. It's a temple of doom. I can eat shit out of the trash can and be okay. I can eat expired fucking foods. It's fucking fine. I'm a monster. I'm like a goddamn raccoon is what I am. But the McPizza is the only fast food item so gross it made me throw up. It's disgusting. Also, how the fuck do you screw up pizza? Honestly, you can throw ketchup on a cracker, put a little pepper on that shit, put a Kraft single, and that's good. That's decent enough pizza. It's fucking pizza. How do you fuck up pizza, McDonald's? Also, it's fast food. You know what you do? You know what happens when you order the McPizza? You wait. You wait for fucking ever. Because guess what? The place that revolutionized hamburger sales, they're not prepared to make you a fucking pizza, John goddamn Noble. That's why everyone's got to wait in line behind fucking John Noble and every other Canadian that's just fucking jumping through hoops to get their hands on some goddamn McPizzas. It's fucking bullshit. It's a goddamn embarrassment to fast food. It's a goddamn embarrassment to pizza. And speaking of embarrassments to pizza, number 1 with the bullet. Domino's is number 1. Who would have thought that Domino's would be number 1? Domino's has come up with a few things. Like in the 90s, they had something called the Dominator, which was a very long pizza with square pieces. And it was an answer to the Pizza Hut's Bigfoot. It was a fucking huge, and their whole Domino's whole commercial with the Dominator was, hey, 24 slices on this bad boy, but they're 24 of the smallest slices you've ever seen. So a guy like me, even though I was a young lad in the early 90s, I could eat half of that pizza no problem. And then people look at you, like people honestly think that you can go to your family of 5. I get that Dominator. Why not? We'll get that Dominator. Feed the whole family. Nope, couldn't do it. But that's not what got them number 1. What got them number 1, technically here, the biggest fast food fail of all time is not the Dominator. It is in fact the Noid. Some of you younger people don't know what the fuck I just said. Some of you younger people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But the Noid was a character created by Domino's as an excuse as to why their pizza sucks. So basically, this was before every pizza box had those tiny little tables that they would stick on top of the pizza that would prevent the cheese from sticking to the roof of the thing. This was before that. So when you would order pizza from Domino's, you'd get it, and half of the pizza would be stuck to the fucking roof. Personally, I miss that. I miss scraping off that cheese, that roof cheese, that cardboard cheese. I miss doing that. I would rather sacrifice the integrity of the pizza itself to get the opportunity to go back and do that cheese scraping business I used to do as a kid. But when you got it and your pizza was shit, they would say, well, it wasn't us. It wasn't our fault. We didn't do it. It was the Noid. The Noid's doing it. And the Noid was actually popular. As a marketing character, it wasn't, as a mascot, it wasn't bad at all. It had video games. It had a cartoon series, 1 episode of a cartoon series. There were t-shirts, toys. The Noid was very popular and was abruptly canceled. The Noid just went away, and it did come back like in 2015. They did some retro commercials for the Noid. By the way, that NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System Noid game, I think it's just called Avoid the Noid. You can suck my ass with that first level. You get near that water, you're dead. Noids can't swim? Anyway, the Noid just disappeared because, this is pretty sad. There was a man named Kenneth Lamar Noid who, full disclosure, Kenneth Lamar Noid had a very trouble, like he had some mental health issues, obviously. But Kenneth Lamar Noid thought that the Domino's Corporation was singling him out and targeting him, and sending him subliminal messages, and every time that they were talking about the Noid, they were talking about him. He thought every time that they would say, avoid the Noid, that was translating to avoid Kenneth Lamar Noid. So, Kenneth Lamar Noid wrote a couple, this was before emails, obviously, so he wrote some letters, scheduled an appointment with the CEO of Domino's, asked them nicely to stop doing the Noid commercials and to just cancel the whole Noid character. And Domino's said, you know what, we're sorry, that was insensitive of us, and we were wrong, it's gone. That didn't happen. That's a lie. What really happened is Kenneth Lamar Noid grabbed a couple of guns and walked down to his local Domino's, took 4 employees and 10 customers hostage, and he wanted he wanted $100,000 and a copy of a book to read. That's what his demands were. And then he just gave up. He said, but because of that, the Noid has been forever avoided. I want, you know what, you guys, sometimes you guys send me stuff, you guys send me Rice Krispie treats or whatnot, right? Don't send me that anymore. I want you to send me some Noid merchandise. Send me some goddamn Noid merchandise. I want Noid t-shirts, I want Noid little bendy. I used to have a Noid bendy figure character thing, action figure. I want that. You can keep your NES game because it sucks. Anyway, that's the according to the internet, by the way, the top 10 worst fast food fails. And this is the episode, by the way. This episode was made possible by my generous Patreon supporters, Patreons like John Noble, who liked the McDonald's pizza. Bad decisions from day one from John Noble. Harry Winston, who's been in here silent the whole fucking time. People like Caitlin, people like Sarah Spurbeck, Elizabeth Burnett, people like Brett Thompson, that son of a bitch. People like Marisa Dodge. If you want to become a patron and help support me and support this show, patreon.com/The Gary Lee Show. If you just want to watch or listen, find the show on wherever the podcasts come from. Find it. iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, Spotify. Fuck iHeartRadio. It's The Gary Lee Show. I also have another podcast that's also 100% free. It's called No Talent Required. You can find it on this feed. You can find it on its own separate feed. Why not? And if you do want to help the show, but you're a cheap bastard, if you're thinking to yourself, man, I want to help this guy out, but I'm not giving him a dime, you fucking Scrooge, you can still help. Go to wherever you get this show. Give it a 5-star rating. It helps new listeners find the show. It just makes me feel good. And the other cheap way you can help the show is open your stupid fucking mouth and tell people. Tell a friend, a family member, a coworker. Say, hey, you like laughing? I know you do. Listen to this podcast. Free of charge. Helps me out a bunch. And for those of you listening, Sherry all the way in Kentucky. Nothing else to do but listen to a podcast, right? ER nurse. John Noble, who, again, loved the McPizzas over there. Maybe the Canadian McPizzas were better. I don't know. I'm only speaking about the American version of the McPizza, which was poison. But John Noble's listening, so thank you, and thank everybody else. And now we're gonna go out to some of that good old-fashioned generic rock, because Facebook and YouTube won't allow me to post these things unless it's generic rock.